have been going back and forth about how we're going to do this. So first off, everybody, welcome to another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. And this beautiful young lady on the other side of the screen is Miss Racquel Palmer. Please, please, please show some love. Send some waves, send some hearts. I have been so excited to have this
Me too.
conversation with you. First off, the reason why I was so connected, just wanting when my team sent me your story, was I already knew who you were.
Oh,
Secondly, we are both from the East Coast, so
okay. Where you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Northeast.
So
What's
I
up?
already, when I think about if dreams was a person going after my
Oh,
dream of the person, it's you.
oh,
It is
thank
you.
you.
And I don't think people understand the grind when you're from the East Coast and
Mm,
the go get it mentality. Like
mm-hmm.
there is no such thing as no when you're in the East Coast.
Nope.
It's you either go hard
Mm-hmm.
home, and most of us we're gonna go hard. Period.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I am so happy to have you here. How are you doing, my love?
I am well. Yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm just so excited to have you here. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And normally
Cool.
I just kind of dive into growing up in Edison, New Jersey. I knew you were born in Newark, but you were raised in Edison, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching something where you said you were born acting a fool. So
Yeah.
it was already prone in your DNA. God had already
Yeah.
assigned you this assignment. So
Mm-hmm.
what was it like growing up for you in Edison and knowing that you had this gift and wanting to pursue it?
Well, like I grew up in Edison, but my mother is from North. Yes,
No.
North. So, it's the suburban life, but still, I have my mother who, from Newark and gave me those traditions of growing up black, growing up a black woman.
Yeah.
So I was very theatrical. I'm the baby of my family. I learned
Oh
very
boy.
early on. I know, right? We the greatest kinds of people.
Dumb
We
baby,
are.
dumb baby brothers and sisters, man.
We the best. I still play my baby card. I'm like, yo, give me $20.
Oh
Maybe you
man.
got money. I don't care. So I'm still growing up.
Right.
but I grew up very theatrical. I love to fool my brothers and sisters and my mother into thinking that I felt a certain kind of way, but I didn't. So I would like cry at the drop of a dime, and they'd be like, "What's wrong? Who we got to go beat up?" I was like, "Oh, it's me."
See, now you about to get the next door neighbor beat up for no
For no reason. Always fun.
Oh my
But
goodness.
that's how I grew up. My parents really allowed me to be myself. It was just the inevitable. They saw it since I was little. My mother was the one who said I came out her womb acting like a fool. So it was just the inevitable. I remember very early on when I was like in plays at school, my mom and my dad, they sat me down. They're like, okay, is this something that you really want to do? Like, are we going professional with it? And I was just like, yeah. And from that moment, I was 16. I was getting ready to graduate from high school, and I just never looked back. So, yeah.
Come on, talk about jumping in the water and just going for it. You know, a lot of us, we spend our entire lives standing at the shore because we're fearful of what the
Yeah.
water will look like or what the water will feel like, and we never
Yeah.
jump in. And it just speaks to faith, right? Faith and having that be the foundation of your why.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So going into being from Newark and then being raised in Edison and in the suburbs, I can only imagine what it was like when you got to the Big Apple to start professionally in
Mm-hmm.
theater and acting. How was that entire experience? Because Edison and Times Square are two
different. Completely.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I can only imagine.
Yeah, I graduated high school when I was 16.
Mm,
Just started school early.
yeah.
And so I never took a bus. I never took a train. I never did any public transportation. And I wanted to go to NYU.
Man,
And
you
that's
dreaming big too.
I'm dreaming big. And my mother was just like, you like to talk to strangers. Like, how are we going? And my father took me to New York City. We were pulling up into our house and he was like, oh, stay in the car. And I was like, and he's like, we're going somewhere. So he took me to New York so I can go. It was like in the middle of the night. He took me to the campus and I get there and I like to talk.
Yes.
That's how we do it.
Somebody got to know something.
Somebody got to know something. You got to see out. And it's really, it started there. And we were driving around the campus and we saw people shooting and they were shooting Law and Order. And so I was just like, let's go, Daddy. And I started talking to like the actors there. I spoke to the director. This ain't nothing new.
At all. At all.
And that's how I got casted in my first role on Law and Order. And because I think I'm my biggest fan besides my mother and my family and my husband. Yeah. I like to tell you about, not only tell you, but also show you what I like to do. So it was a transition from Edison, but New York City wasn't ready for me. I'm always joking.
So doing this, film life, even though it was short, I know you were saying you had like a walk-on role. But doing that and then theater, the stage, is also two very different beats.
It is.
And I think unless you have been in it, you don't understand that there's two different realities there. For you, what do you like most about both? Because they are so different.
So I'm trained in theater, trained in classical theater. It is my first love. And even when I train, because I mentor a lot to girls and boys who want to be actors. And I always say, like, for me, I always think that theater is the best foundation to have in going into this business, because theater don't lie
at all.
They're to tell you the truth right there. When you get on that stage, you better be ready, you better be prepared. And it's so funny to even work with Mr. Perry. That's exactly how that set runs. You better be ready, come prepared, and anything can possibly happen. So I think for me, theater is the best preparation to have going into film and television, because you'll never be off your P's and Q's if you have the theater background, I believe. It just makes you a sharper actor. Your preparation is completely different. So that's what I love and enjoy about theater. It is honest, it is truthful. It's just raw. Like you can feel the audience believe you. On TV, you can't feel it.
Feel that,
I can hear the audience, and it just feeds you as an actor that they are with you on this roller coaster of what you're doing as a character.
And going through that, going in theater and then wanting to pick this up and then go to school. You actually started off with my alma mater, HBCU Lincoln.
Oh,
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And then life happens, right?
Yeah.
Life happens. You found out that you are pregnant with your son. And I think about, as we're adults, and I think about life and responsibilities and bills, and now not just caring for yourself, but your responsibilities now are to this innocent young child that is born into this world. How did that change, if it did, change your perspective on going for your dreams?
Well, for me personally, I was very young when I got pregnant with my son. I was 19, and I'm the baby. Like I was never really out there in the world, and I didn't really do too much for myself. So I had always been going for my dream, and I never wanted my son to feel like he was the reason my dream stopped.
Yeah.
So it put some fire underneath me. I remember I met somebody in passing, and I was going to like an audition or something, and she was like, "Oh, you're still doing that?" I was like, "Was I supposed to stop?"
Right.
Like what was supposed, like, for me, having my son and getting pregnant with my son was my motivation. I tell my son every day, I said, I could not have been, whether acting or not, I could not have been the woman that I was ever supposed to be in life if I never became your mother. So it really pushed everything that I had up and not away.
Because having somebody to depend on you is a completely different level of motivation. Like you can't give up. Talk about
you can't.
I think about it like as a statement, like you can't miss the mark, like at all.
At all.
What I mean? But what I love about it, even as I hear you speak, a support system, right? Like that goes such a long way. And I think even in the East Coast, or I'm not sure about anywhere else, but you're always going to have people who love on you and support you and uplift you. And for you, what has been the most impact of having your mom and your husband and so many people loving on you
Yeah.
and is being there by your side through all of the things you've gone through?
Yeah, for first having like my mother and my siblings believing in me,
Mm,
um, it really transforms you. It makes things that you you're told
yeah.
are impossible seem possible. And then
Right.
having the factor of having a son along with it, I needed all hands on
Mm,
deck with coming with that. And they wouldn't allow me to stop.
yeah.
And then I met my husband, and my mom is gone now, but he's an extension
Mm,
of my mother. I mean, my husband is he was the one who told me to put up the billboard the second time because I wasn't going to do it again. And he was like, I don't know, baby, we may have to
right.
just try it
Right.
again. But he's extremely motivated. I say that my husband is my blue
Mm,
because he's always pushing me, he's always motivating me. But I need all the this is I know it looks like one person, but it's a lot of hands in this
yes.
pot
Yes. Yes. And it's
to keep it
necessary.
going. It
It's so
is.
necessary. And I think, having that, what you said, like you said, enables you to want to do these things that for others may seem like
Yes.
no, she didn't. No, 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 she didn't put that billboard up there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and not the first time, not the second time, but we've done this now 3 times. And
Mhm.
for you, and I get this just because I've been there where I'm just like, yo, something has to give, right? And
Yep.
it's not just about me
Mhm.
anymore. It's not about me. All of these people behind me
Behind.
are uplifting me. They're here for me. They're doing this for me. How can I
Mhm.
not? How can I
Push.
give up? You know what I mean?
You
And I
can't.
don't, and I don't think people who've been through the mud like that understands. Like I can't give up. I don't get the
Yeah.
right. I don't get the right to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you
You
put
know how
the,
many hours my mother had to work extra?
come
How
on,
many times she had to watch my son so
come
I can
on,
go to please, I can't
come
quit
on, come
at
on. I
all.
was reading where you were even saying like your husband, who was also into the acting world,
Yes.
gave it up just to make sure that your dreams come true. How dare
Yeah.
you not? You better put that billboard up
My
everywhere.
every single my husband, like I said, he's an actor as well, and he's super fantastic, and he loved me. And sometimes I be, because we 6 years and you're like, do you love me? My husband loved me. He gave up everything, and every time like I get on set, it is that feeling like my husband, my children. I can be doing lines,
Mm.
performing, and in the back of my mind, like my husband gonna leave because it's not just about me. And I learned that at 19, going for this dream. It's not just about me. And
Yeah.
initially, it started off. It was like the Racquel show.
Right.
But then once that baby was here, once those kids came, my
Yep.
husband, my mother, my sister, all of that, it
Yeah.
became a different kind of show. This is not just my dream. This is a dream that others been dreaming for me for a
Come
long
on.
time. Yeah, and I
Come
won't
on.
let them down at
Come on.
all. So yes, I
So,
put up some billboards.
so what people probably didn't know was this wasn't your first one, like I said before. So this second one went viral in 2019.
Yes.
And I remember seeing it and being so inspired. Like, and I guess once again, it's a Northeast thing. Like it just you
Hmm.
don't understand. And I was just like, yo, this is so dope. I don't care what anybody says. This is what I'm talking about when they talked about dreams and how
Yeah.
far you are willing to invest in your thing, into your craft, into
Hmm.
yourself. But
Yeah.
Tyler Perry was not pleased at
He
all.
said a couple of things about it.
So everybody else is wondering, because I knew I was wondering, how did the transition happen where you went from being this person who was on this billboard to now being this person who is now starring in All the Queen's Men? How did that
Okay.
meetup happen where I know for a fact that you had to work 10 times harder because now you done did this. Oh, you're not going to get this easy because you're not
It's
going to spit
not.
no lines up in here. So how did that lead up happen?
Well, Mr. Perry did say what he said about, the billboard and how it wasn't the ideal thing to do. And I can understand it's not normal. It's not
Right.
not saying normal, but it isn't the way to go. And I always say I don't always recommend that people put on billboards because you already told you no.
Mm-hmm.
But I do recommend that people go after their dreams. That's
Yeah.
just bottom line. Just go after the dreams. If there's any inspiration from my story to yours, just go after it. As far as the transition, it started with sisters. So I was given an opportunity to audition for Officer Rhea for Sisters.
Yes.
And I had to be a little bit different than everybody else. I had to
Mm-hmm.
work hard. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
it was the billboard, but it was the billboard. I had to put some money behind everything that I had talked about being
Yes.
his leading lady. And the funny thing is, he didn't even, when I did my scene for Officer Rhea, the first one, he didn't even know that it was me.
Oh, wow.
And I had gotten word that he had liked what I had done, but then someone had to tell him, like, that's the billboard girl. And he was like, that's the billboard girl. So he didn't even know. He had seen my work, but instead of putting the two and two together, which I appreciate, because I didn't want the billboard to be something that put a bad taste in his mouth, made him look at me differently. So it was great that he didn't know that it was me when he saw me. So I did have to work a little harder than everybody else,
course.
which is fine.
Because you're not about to ask me to be your lead lady, and you're not bringing it.
You're not bringing it. So yeah, I had to work a little bit harder, but it just went from that transition. And every day I still go in with the same mindset I did on the first day when I shot Officer Rhea. Like, I still got to put my work behind it. I still got to show myself. I still got to work harder than everybody else, just because I just wanted to be. I didn't ask for that. I wanted to tell you that I am that and show you. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I think, even when we think about what you've had to do to get here, people are always saying, and I love this cliche saying, what's for you is meant for you. But I feel like what people don't understand or don't say is you got to work for it too.
Yeah, you got to work for it.
Just because it's meant for you doesn't mean it's going to happen for you if you don't allow yourself to work for it. You got to
and that's scripture. Faith without works is dead.
Come on.
You got to put the work behind it.
Yes.
God gonna do whatever He do, but you
But
still
you
have to
meet him
show
somewhere
up.
in the middle, right?
You got to meet him. You got to show up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So now you're in this thing, but COVID happens, right? And I think a lot of times people are like, okay, well, what goes on now, right? What happens now? Because now this dream that I worked so hard for, it either is gonna succeed or it's gonna fail, right? We're in this COVID era.
Yeah.
How was that life for you after the billboard, doing that stuff, now auditioning, being on Sisters? Was it a harder transition during COVID, or were things just smooth sailing?
I would say it was set up because Mr. Perry was one of the Tyler Perry Studios was one of the first studios to go back during COVID.
Yeah.
And the system in which he created allowed us to still be able to work. So it was smooth transition into filming. So it wasn't difficult at all. Ain't nobody gonna stop my dream, COVID or not.
Move to the side. Move to the side. So
that ain't happening.
So what was it like auditioning for Blue in All the Queen's Men? First of all, just watching it is intense. I had an opportunity to have Mike Strong on my show, and we went over just the process of male exotic dancing, because he was really adamant, like, it's not just stripping, it's male exotic dancing, and it's a whole field. So for you, what was it like auditioning, and what have you learned so far being a part of such an amazing, dynamic show, which has so much depth?
Yeah,
it is so deep. You know what I mean? How has it been for you?
Well, auditioning for Blue, to be honest, I look back at my audition. I'm like, yo, girl, you suck. I'm like, that ain't nothing what you do on television. Nah, you could have done a whole lot better. But they saw something. But it was cool to audition for Blue. I really enjoyed Blue as far as like the character. I think she just has so many dimensions. And which Kristen, the writer and creator, Christian Keys, just made sure that this particular character is not one level at all. So I just love that she just has. And the relationship that she has with Madam, it's despite all the killings and and the dancing and whatnot, their friendship is something that's solid throughout.
Yes.
And I
love
just love that
loyalty.
Yes, the level, and I just feel that their relationship is not one that you see with any other cast, any other character on the
Yeah.
show. They're very honest with each other. Blue tell Madam exactly how it goes.
Hmm.
Madam tell Blue. Everybody just sometimes they agree, sometimes they don't. But it's still the friendship and the loyalty that you speak of. As far
Yeah.
as being in this cast, and especially in my first lead role, it is I I don't want to call it like make it seem cliche to say like it's a family, but
Yeah.
it feels that way,
Yeah.
especially because we all came in here with the same understanding that we wanted this to be a great show, not a
Mm.
good show. We wanted it to be a great one.
Yeah.
And we wanted people to fall in love with these characters. We wanted them to fall in love with the stories. We
Mm.
wanted them to see it as more than just stripping these people,
Yes.
these men, these beautiful, even though they're gorgeous, have stories, and
Yeah.
that they want to be told. So this cast is really a phenomenal cast to be a part of. We every day when we come into set, it is just straight work hard. We want everybody to do well. We're pushing for everybody. It's just a fantastic cast to
Yeah.
be a part of. It's also a collaboration between the dancers and the trained actors
Yes.
who, because we're all coming from two different worlds. So
Hmm.
we get to tell them about our world, and they get to show us theirs. And
Yes.
it just brings this beautiful blend. So it's a fantastic
Hmm.
collaboration
Yeah.
between everybody.
And I think most people don't know some of these dancers were real dancers, guys.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't think that people understand this. Some people are actors, and you can see that. But then there are
Mhm.
some people who Mike Strong told me they were
Yes.
real male exotic dancers going
Yes.
in on this. So when you talk about the feel, it's real, guys. It is
It's real. Yes.
Oh man, that is
And I
so
also love like
powerful.
they put their input. They let us know. We're not doing this based off the interpretation
Yes.
of this world. They're also putting in the input, like, oh no, it don't go like that. Like it go
Mm,
like this. So what you're seeing is true to form.
it's education.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Now,
it's really cool to see.
watching Blue on TV and talking to you and just kind of getting to know you, so you guys are complete opposites. How was it being?
Different.
How was it going in and playing somebody that is nothing like who you are?
Well, that's my job.
Because I think a lot of times most people that I have on the show, they play roles that are somewhat similar to who they are in real life.
Yeah.
But Blue is nothing, not even an inch
Nah.
like you. So
No.
was it for me? I would have been like so like liberating. Like, oh my God, I'm
Yes.
gonna play somebody that is completely
It's completely different. Yeah. It's honestly, it's so much fun, especially when I'm getting into character and I'm in my house and my husband, I'm like, yo, shut He's like, what? Like, oh my bad, that was Blue.
and scene.
And see, I've been doing this since I was little. Watch out now.
Right.
But
Oh.
it's so much fun because I really built her to a real person. So to be able to go in and out, like to be me and then to be her, it's a totally different eye as
Mm,
far as her perspective. I absolutely love it. I
right,
really do.
man.
Yeah.
So if you can tell people about living in their authentic selves and going after the very thing that they want to do, what would
Yeah.
that message look like?
I've been a single mother
Mm,
and I still went after my dream.
yeah.
My husband and I have been broke. Good times, right, honey? And we still went after our dream.
Mm,
I've been quote unquote too old, too thick, too skinny, too short, and I still went after my dream.
mm,
There are no excuses, honestly.
yeah.
There's no excuses. I've been Black
Come on.
and a woman,
Come on.
still went after my dream. There are no excuses, no matter how old you are, no matter what your profession is during the day, still do it.
Come on.
I hope I'm the testament to that.
Yeah.
That I did this with a baby in my arm. We went to auditions together. Like, just play right there. Mommy gonna go in there and do these lines. He's like,
Oh,
okay, mom. He's like, mommy, did you get it? Not today, but we'll be back. But it's just a matter of just believing in yourself and knowing what's meant for you. That
Mm,
thing in your belly that you keep pushing away because it doesn't seem practical, it doesn't seem
mm.
easy.
Or the
That's the
time is
thing to
not
do.
right.
Or the time is not right. That's the thing to do.
Mm,
And there's always time for it. Even
yeah,
like 2 o'clock in the morning, you're that writer, write a page a day.
yeah,
There's always time to do it. You'll
yeah.
find a way if you want it.
Come on. I'm going to give you
Yeah.
this moment right now because I feel like it is really imperative to honor your mom and honor your
Um,
support system. If you can say anything to them right now, what would that be?
but I'm going to say it to my mother. Thank you.
Mm,
Just thank you for believing in me.
mm,
Because you were right.
mm. Come on.
Boy, you gonna get me crying up in here?
And
My
let's
mascara.
oh man, I just love you so much. Your energy is so infectious.
Thanks.
What do you have coming up that we can support and be a part of right now?
Well, I have tons of things coming up. I'm always working.
Yeah.
So when you see it, I'll be sure to let you know that it's coming.
Oh, please. See, I love this. I was trying to reel it in, but
You're trying to
ladies and
get it. I
gentlemen,
can't give you everything. You get a little taste.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. This is Racquel Palmer. Please make sure, if you're not doing anything else, that you are tuning in to All the Queen's Men on BET Plus. Season 2 has already started. And if you missed season 1, catch up. It's on BET Plus.
Yes.
Racquel, thank you so much for being
No,
here.
thank you.
You are a part of the Courtney's Corner family, and you are always welcome back at any time. I love you all for watching, and I'll see you on another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. Have a good one.